Blood moon alert, Virgo. There's a blood moon, the fourth in the tetrad of blood moons, occurring on the 27th of September, Eastern Daylight Time, and on the 28th, it's Greenwich Mean Time if you're utilizing that system. So it's the 28th Greenwich Mean Time, 27th in Eastern Daylight Time. We're giving you both of those because it's an important day. A lot of people feel this is an extremely important day. Again, it's the fourth blood moon in the tetrad. It's a total lunar eclipse, and it's the full moon in the sign of Aries, the Ram. And that can be very intense because, as you know, Aries is the god of war. So some people feel that war could begin to break out. And, you know, from this energy of this particular blood moon and in the months to come, some people feel that this could be something that could lead to these types of events. So we want to try to stay on the positive side of things and have people try to keep a lid on their anger and negotiate well, rather than resort to fighting and confrontation. There are simultaneously occurring with this blood moon holy days of various cultures and religions. So this is why it's even more intensified. On the 13th of September, there's the new moon in the sign of Virgo, and that's a partial solar eclipse. Also this month, as if all that wasn't enough, we have on the 23rd of September, that's the autumn equinox, and that will cause, there's some people that feel that that's an important date too. And there's some things going on with CERN. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the information about CERN into the money portion of this transmission. And suffice it to say that a lot of people have been doing a lot of inner work, a lot of working on their inner Kabbalah, their inner Merkaba or Merkaba fields, and working on Tatwa's path working. A lot of people have been doing that. And these inner worlds are being breached, which gives scientists the ability in the outer world to do it technologically with you know, mechanics and machines and technology rather than inner work and inner technology. But it's all the same thing. So again, we're going to put some of that information about Merkaba fields later on in the transmission, the money portion. But just suffice it to say now that that's a strong day on the 23rd. And Mer means rotating fields of light, Ka means spirit, and Ba means soul. So if you've done Merkaba work, Merkaba, or Merkaba, however you want to pronounce it, you say tomato, I say tomato. But just understand that on that day, the energy might be very intense, and so you want to, you know, don't get too all up in arms about these big events. Try to keep things in an entertaining, but not, again, not confrontational manner. Because the energy might be a bit much for Virgo because you're ruled by Mercury. Okay? And we have Merkaba classes as well, in case you want to contact us about that. Now, the planet Mercury is going to be direct in Libra to go retrograde in Libra on the 17th of September. So Mercury again will be direct until the 17th to then go retrograde. And in the sign of Libra, and it has a lot to do with justice and fairness and litigation, those kind of things. We'll get into that again later. All right. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of Mercury affects you this month, Virgo. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Virgo angel Hamaliel and your guardian angel Uriel, the mighty earth angel who rules over all the earth signs, and Hamaliel, your specific Virgo angel who rules over your mutable earth nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, the love transmission. Okay, now watch out for mishaps due to misunderstandings, miscommunication, thinking somebody means this when they actually meant that. It's a good month to let go of people you feel are players it's a good month to let go of people, especially on the 13th with that new moon and partial solar eclipse in Virgo in your sign. It's a good time to kind of let go of some of these difficult relationships, because what's going on in your chart is that because of the various Libra facets, with Mercury being in Libra and also the Sun to ingress into Libra later on in the month on the 23rd out of Virgo, you're going to have your karma affected because the North Node, which affects karma, is presently transiting through the sign of Libra, the scales, and it goes retrograde and direct quite a lot. But nonetheless, your karma will be affected, and it's sort of life purpose. It's sort of dharma, more to the point, the North Node. But it's a very important time for you to let go of relationships that no longer serve you and relationships that have become negative. So you just want to let them go. You don't have to grandstand. You don't have to make a big announcement. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You just need to gently let go very lightly of things that are just negative. Things that are no longer serving you. You don't have to, because Virgo is very service to others, constantly being of service to others. And you might want to tone down, though, in your relationships. You don't get into difficulty with miscommunication. The getting very upset when somebody thinks that you might not be completely perfect in your intentions at all times. And a lot of people, a lot of your fellow earth signs might be contending with this, and your Mercury shared planetary buddy, Gemini, this can be difficult because you all may feel that you're always pristine and you always have good intentions, and indeed most people do. But just understand, we are all made with egos to receive for the sake of self. We were made that way, all of us, and our body is that vessel of ego and the will to receive, and we can't do anything about that. Our spiritual DNA is our astrology, and our physical DNA matches that, and we're given the path we're given, and Jesus Christ isn't one you choose. He chooses you, and you don't choose Kabbalah, whether it's the traditional Hebrew Kabbalah or whether it's Gnosticism from the Greeks that's traditional, or whether it's Rosicrucianism or Germanic. It doesn't matter. It chooses you. You don't choose it. So just understand that. And understand that we're all coming from the same place. And don't worry if you think people are mad at you. And don't worry if people don't think your intentions are always perfect. Perfect meaning to serve others. What you want to do is take some time for yourself and, just lighten up on getting upset when you think people might think this or that. It doesn't matter. Because people are doing the best they can, and they might not necessarily think something bad. Virgo tends to have a problem with that. So let go of people that are players, but again, you don't have to make a big announcement about it. Okay, now we're going to get into the money portion of this transmission from Hamaliel and the mighty earth angel Uriel. Your career will take a leap forward up until the 17th, and then it'll take a step back after the 17th. However, the leap forward, if you heed what we've already said, and also heed that communications can be the reason that you think relationships are bad when they might not be bad, and that communication mishaps or strongly affect you and Gemini more than other people because of Mercury, yeah? So just understand that. And understand that if you heed what we're saying here, you can take like a giant leap forward and then only one step back, like 4 steps forward and maybe only 1 step back. You can arrange how much further you want to go by just how positive you're willing to be and how much you're willing to let go of negative people in your life. Or just negative statements. If you don't want to let go of the person, just let go of certain statements they make. Just focus on the positive. Focus on what you want to encourage and discourage and ignore what you don't want to become more part of your life. Tend your garden well. Don't worry about what's in somebody else's garden. Tend your own garden well. Okay, we've said that since people have asked a lot about CERN, we'll just get into it here. With that said, again, CERN is the physical manifestation in the external world of all the work people have been doing in the inner realms. People have been working on their inner Kabbalah, their inner... People doing yoga are working on these things, whether they know it or not. People, everybody works on it in one way or another because it's part of your body. The Sephirah and Kabbalah is simply... It's simply the chakras in a little bit of a different arrangement, that's all. And again, women's chakras and inner Kabbalistic system is different than a man's. So a man's system will work for you up to a point, and then you'll have to find the part that's meant for females, because a woman's body is obviously, the chakras are in a different place, obviously. And that's expressed in the Sefer Yetzirah. So, if you've done work on your Merkabah, and you've done work on your inner worlds, you're ready to manifest. You can manifest whatever you want. It won't be hard. What you have to do, however, is understand your shadow side, because what CERN is doing is bringing antimatter into the world of matter. They're bringing non-existence into existence. And anybody who can control matter and antimatter are in the position of what we consider to be God. That's why they call it Higgs boson the God particle. It was 2012 discovered. And now they've got strangelets that they're calling, that many people are saying, it's hearsay, that Pope Francis or the Vatican or somebody, that's hearsay, I'm not sure that's true, but I read it somewhere, that they're calling it strangelets. These are particles that are byproducts of the particle collisions in the Large Hadron Collider, that is called the spirit particle, which brings us to where they're almost ready to create the soul. And that's, as you know, those of you who have been doing inner work, part of the work of Merkabah. Rotating fields of light, spirit, soul, Kaaba. Yeah? So, we teach classes on that again if you want to take classes. We have advanced classes, or we also have beginners classes and intermediary. Now, what they're doing is going to be able to build rather than just destroy. People that are worried about, people have this weapon of mass destruction or that weapon of mass destruction. Well, the antimatter is as destructive or constructive, as powerful as you can get, that we know of thus far. I'm sure there'll be something later on, but anyway. At one point, they're going to be able to, as easy as print out internal organs. And they won't have to chop organs out of this person and put it into that person. We'll consider that barbaric at one point. The things we're doing now will be considered barbaric. And indeed it is. It's part of the human evolution. It's an ugly part of human evolution. The veil is going to be lifted, the revelation of evil, of the fullness of the will to receive for the sake of the self, which is the 3D body that we're in. With that said, the good news is that the portals are being opened. They say that they're building a portal with CERN to planet Saturn and the Saturnian realms and the god Cernunnos and all of that. So there's so much being created. Again, if we hadn't done it on an inner level, the scientists could not have done it on an outer level. And Rosicrucian Kabbalah is one form, and Kabbalah in general is one form of spirit and science meeting. And religion tried to do that, but humans have become so sophisticated in their science that now we need something more sophisticated to unite these two worlds. It's the marriage supper of the Lamb, the rending of the veil. When the veil is lifted, again, the revelation of evil. That's the Sephirah of Binah, to reveal and conceal in Kabbalah. That's Saturn. So we are in the age of Aquarius. It's ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus. But in the Saturnian cults, Uranus is said to be the progenitor of Saturn, and Saturn is said to be the progenitor of the Earth, and the Sun is said to have lured the Earth by its gravitational force away from Saturn. It's like Tiferet pulling, is perhaps what caused the fall, away from Binah, the Earth, Malkut, away from Binah, the pulling of harmony, the desire for harmony, away from Binah, the Divine Mother, or Saturn, or Kronos. It had, Mother and Father loses some of its distinctiveness when you get to the higher realms. So, like the letter Bet, sometimes it's the mother, sometimes considered the father, but it's generally a caring Moses type figure. So with all of that said, you understand that there's going to be more paranormal activity in your face, and there's going to be more ability for people to remote view, remote hear, and have these experiences of developing their senses outside of this box of our five-dimensional, that was a scientific slip, I guess. Yes, there are, the fifth-dimensional realms that we go beyond the fourth dimension of time, because time is what they're also playing with. Okay, too much information coming in at the moment from the angelic worlds, and this vessel is unable to hold its frequency at this point. So I'm going to move into the health part of the transmission, but you get the idea. All right, the health part of the transmission from Hamaliel and Uriel, cleansing routines for the lungs and for the kidneys. The third and the fourth chakras will be what is important during September for you, Virgo. There are a lot of products that are helpful for clearing and cleansing the lungs and the kidneys, and it will be very important. It will help with the immune system, which is, of course, always, if you have your immune system intact, you don't have to really fear the bugs that are out there or any of the diseases that are out there, because it's either a mechanical problem or it's a bug. And if you have good immune system, you don't have to worry about the bugs, and if you're taking care of yourself, treating yourself properly, you don't have to worry about the mechanical difficulties. All right, so of course, if you're having a problem, check with your licensed physician. Just before we get into the afterglow, we just want to say one last thing here about some of the peripheral activity that's going on in Libra that's going to affect you, Virgo, because of your connection to Mercury. Legal situations, fairness, unfairness, hypocrisy, and the lack thereof. Just understand those issues will come up. But again, if we handle ourselves in a magnanimous way, social media is homogenizing everybody, so that everybody can have their opinions, everybody can have their say, everybody can have their culture and their religion, as long as it's homogenized in a sort of world, globalized, human, reasonable, law-abiding manner. Even people that are against globalism are globally uniting against the globalists. So this will be felt by you more poignantly than by those who aren't as affected by Libra, and that's justice and all of that, and just the system of, the legal systems and fairness, those things, balance. So we just wanted to say that before we move into the afterglow and the planetary aspects and the astrological facets. Okay, now, Mercury, again, is direct in the sign of Libra to go retrograde in Libra on the 17th of September. On the 9th, we have Mercury direct square Pluto retrograde. On the 24th, we have Mercury retrograde square Pluto retrograde. And on the 30th, that's the one we're going to use for the planetary formula, we have Mercury retrograde in Libra See, there's Libra again. Conjunct Sun in Libra. And here's the answer for that particular problem. The answer is, for this Mercury retrograde in Libra, conjunct Sun in Libra on the 30th, unbalanced justice finds fairness when the light of reason is shed upon all. So basically, we're getting the light of the sun to shine upon what, just whether things are fair or not, truly fair. And to shine a light on hypocrisy, that's all. But then also to allow people to say, well, this is happening because of this, and this is happening because of that. So everybody needs to understand that they will be treated fairly, but they've also got to be a little more fair with others because of the light of reason, because the light's going to be shown on all, especially on this day. And that's kind of what's going on. All right. Thank you, Virgo. Thank you for joining us. This is your Angelic Horoscope transmission from your Virgo angel Hamaliel and the mighty Earth angel Uriel. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and join us again next month.